Hey guys! So, today we are going to talk about advanced code. So let's get into it. Now, what the hell am I talking about? What do I mean by advanced code? Well, I can ask you the same question. You see, there are a few people who have been asking about if we could talk about some advanced topics, like more advanced things. And usually I have requests for different videos of usually in the nature of computer science algorithms and memoization or binary sorting and like all these awesome sophisticated algorithms. And I wanted to touch on that a little bit. And maybe help some people out in the process. You see, a lot of the people who ask about that sort of thing are the sort of people who are in the same breath asking about job interviews and being able to do well on a code test of some sort and so forth. Now, I see a lot of these different types of videos out on the internet as well, where people will say something along the lines of, yeah, advanced JavaScript, advanced Java, advanced something. What do you mean by advanced? What is advanced? I don't really understand. Because when I write software, it's not really advanced, depending on your definition. What is advanced? Like, for real, like what do you mean by advanced code? Because if you're asking me about a computer science algorithm, such as the greedy algorithm, that's a basic, very basic computer science algorithm for some people, and for a complete beginner, that is something that is extremely advanced. So maybe we should not talk so much about advanced code, or and maybe we should focus more on professional level code. What do I mean by that? What's the difference between advanced code and professional code? Well, let me tell you. You see, one of the things that you will realize very quickly as you start working and you start producing software at a professional level is that all of these assumptions you have about software development, all these fancy techniques, the fancy patterns, and like there's 1,000 books written on the topic of design patterns. All of these things. It is very, very rare that you ever build something that even uses them. And you may then think that why would we have them? And that's a great question, because most of the time you don't actually use any of these fancy so-called algorithms or design patterns or any of that stuff. The only time I actually see a good use case for it, for the most part, is when some extremely obscure situation calls for it. And I've only had that situation happen to me, I think 2 or 3 times in my career so far. Most of the time I see people misuse these more advanced topics in order to just use them for the sake of using them, which actually produces worse code. And that is not professional. That's why I try to make the argument that you should not focus so much on trying to learn what some people will call advanced software development. It's more about learning how to write professional software. And professional software is not complex by itself. By itself, professional software should be simple and only become complex when it will mitigate even worse complexity. Now let me walk you through that. When you come and talk to me about different sorting algorithms and computer science questions and things of that nature, because there are a few people who are asking about that, and you want to see coding tests and like all of this stuff, I want you to know that that's not real software development. That's not professional level software development. Most coders never do this. It's something that may be relevant for a very small niche part of people who work in computer science or the more sophisticated realms of programming or something of that nature. For the most part, these things very much act as a driver's license test, guys. It's something you study once, not for everybody, but for a lot of like regular software developers, you learn it once, you do it in school, and then you might have to implement some type of FISBOS algorithm or so forth in a job interview. But professional level software development is much more about creating well-structured software, something that is easy to maintain, easy to understand, and that will do the job. With all kinds of other issues such as deadlines and corner cases and cutting corners and change of scope and all that good stuff, which is, trust me, a lot harder to deal with over time than trying to get the perfect O notation on one of your functions. So I'm not trying to say that computer science questions and you should absolutely learn these sorts of things, but you should know that that's not where your energy should be invested. Your energy should be invested in learning the sort of things that are relevant to a professional software developer. The things that are relevant to a professional software developer are very common structures and how to structure code. As I said, like just being able to, in an efficient manner, create a sustainable solution to something. And these patterns are actually very standard. They're not what I would call advanced. It's actually things that you will learn in school, some of it, but it takes a few years of actually applying this knowledge in the field to actually get a fingertip sensation of when to use it and when not to use it. So what I want to leave you with is this thought about what do you mean when you mean advanced software? Because trust me, once you are a true professional, if somebody throws out the word, oh, this is very complex or advanced, that's actually not a good thing. For software, like professional software developers do not get their jollies up for when somebody says this is really sophisticated. Words such as sophisticated, complex, or something like that are actually associated with a lot of bad software for professionals. It's not something I want to hear from my coworker. I don't want my coworker to come in and say, hey Fredrik, I created this awesome complex function. I kind of go, okay, that's great for you. Rewrite this so it's simple. Simple, maintainable, clean. These are things that are very attractive to hear from a professional software developer's perspective, because trust me, advanced code very quickly turns into legacy code. And that, my friend, is not fun at all. Have a great day.